Welcome home. In this podcast, we venture into what it means to be a leader in this new world. Human, flawed but working on things, and forever changed by using our intuition to guide us. I'm Adelina East, founder of Transformational Healing and mentor to those running soul-based businesses. Join me to receive transformational healing, tips to dive more deeply into your unique spiritual gifts, and to hear great conversations with other entrepreneurs in spirit. Let's get started. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Adelina East. I'm an EMDR therapist. I also use internal family systems or parts work. And I use my own modality, transformational healing, combining spirituality and neuroscience to help you get back to who you really are on the inside. I have had such a crazy few weeks, as I'm sure every therapist in the world could tell you. The holidays are a really big time for people. It's all of the family togetherness. It's all of the old wounds coming up for healing. And, not for nothing, but we have 2 eclipses that usually happen nearer to the holidays. Thankfully, they're a little bit further away this year, but I have read that Mars is in retrograde, which is a whole thing. If you follow astrology, I'm sure you've read these same things. So, what are we going to do about it? That is always the question, right? So, here on the Cosmic Leadership Podcast, we like to try to heal stuff. That's kind of what we're into here. We have guests on every now and then for you to hear about the things that they do, which is usually in some way related to healing, whether it's physical, mental, spiritual, all of the above. But when we don't have a guest, we talk about healing and we do healing things. So today, what I want to most talk about with you is trying to impress. This is something that I have heard over and over again over the past few weeks from every single client that I've worked with. I have been going through it myself as well. And I've found that when things like this come up in such a collective way, it's time to talk about it. Because oftentimes in the airing it out, in the figuring out the why, we can figure out how to stop doing it, right? So we will dive deeply into that. I first just want to remind you we are having a winter solstice event Saturday, December 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I am so excited about this, everybody. It's been over a year since I've seen some of you. I've been lucky enough to see some of you in session. I've been lucky enough to see some of you on trips, but I really have not seen our community all that much this year. It's been a really busy year. It's been a really busy time for me personally. And I miss you all. I miss sitting in a virtual room with you and doing healing stuff together. So come to the winter solstice event. We're going to do a lot of things. It's a very packed hour and a half. We are going to hear from our guides about the season, about the different things that are coming up. They are going to channel through a new meditation that we've never done before, that nobody's ever done before. It's brand new. They channeled it to me a couple of weeks ago. I'm very excited to share it. We are going to do a full transformational healing session. And then we're also going to do a little manifestation practice that I have been using in my own personal life. And I'm telling you, it's incredibly powerful. I hate talking about manifestation because what it always brings to mind of that is that I have to stay positive because this toxic positivity is going to somehow bring this millions of dollars into my life. I'm not talking about that version of manifestation. We all know that's crap. I am talking about actual coincidences or, things that could not possibly happen, but they happen anyway because it's part of your divine blueprint, that kind of stuff. So if you want to join us, please come and join us on Saturday, December 21st. You will also be sent a link with the recording afterwards, whether you can come in person or not. You will still always have access to the recording. So check it out. I'd love to see you. I'd love to spend time in community with all of you. And I really am looking forward to this. So let's dive into the question of today, which is, who are we trying to impress? This is a tough one. I think that if you live in the Western world, which I do, and I use that term very loosely because some of the countries that are considered Western world are on the east side of the world. But if you live, let's say for example, in the US or Europe or Australia or New Zealand, we can imagine that you've been raised with success being the goal, right? Especially here in the US. So a lot of this depends on your upbringing. A lot of it depends on the way that you went to school, also. Like, I find that kids who were homeschooled or kids who went to like more community driven schools have less of a success thing than people who went to public school, or and certainly those who went to boarding school. So I do feel like some of it is societally driven. We're going to work through that today. What I'm also wondering is, what was it like for you growing up? Did you have a lot of messaging around you need to be successful? This is exactly what success looks like. Do not deviate. This is success. I want you to be married, have 2.5 children, own a home, own a car that's really fancy. I want you to take trips to Europe twice a year. I want you to have a very stable job that has a 401k so that you can retire at exactly 65, just like I did. But I think what a lot of us, especially folks my age, I'm 45, folks my age and kind of my generation are realizing is that, some of our parents can't retire because they don't actually have the money to, or some of them are retiring in a way that does not look appealing to us at all. I personally am not a person who could wake up and feel purposeless, like I have to have a purpose. I do not have any biological children. And so I do not dream of grandchildren and wanting to be with them all the time. I know that's a great purpose for a lot of people after they retire, or maybe even before. It's not going to be my thing. So, a lot of my purpose is leading people towards healing themselves. What is your purpose? Is it a purpose that you can do as you age? I always ask clients to think about this because I think it's so important. I also am a person who believes that our purpose can be job related and it cannot be job related. It doesn't really matter. It's happening. We kind of come in with these certain, what I feel are divine blueprints for our lives, and we figure out what our purpose is, and then we're doing it, whether we realize we're doing it or not. We're doing it. So, if we're doing our purpose, if we're feeling generally okay about our lives, where they are, maybe we're lacking the dream job, maybe we're lacking a partner, maybe we're lacking kids where we want them, or maybe we're having kids where we don't want them. Whatever the case is, Um, who are we trying to impress again? Who is it? So let's really drill down into that. When you think about trying to impress someone, when was the last time you felt like you were trying to impress someone? I can tell you a story from my life that's happening currently. I have not really felt like I had to impress anyone in a long time. It was one of the reasons that I moved from LA to northern New Mexico. In LA, I feel like every single person is trying to impress every other single person at all times. It's just the vibe. It's all I felt the whole time I was there. It was not a great place for my, let's say, mental health. I'm sorry to put it so harshly for all of you LA folks. I love you. I just didn't love the place. Um, and so I haven't really felt like I've had to impress anyone in quite a while. However, I am dating someone and she's really, really important to me. And I'm about to meet her parents. And so I've woken up the last 3 or 4 days rehearsing conversations with the parents in my head. I am 45 fucking years old. I was a diplomat for the UN. I have multiple master's degrees. I have a beautiful community. Why the hell am I so nervous? Why do I feel like I have to just bring out all the most amazing stories so that they will love me, right? So that they will tell their daughter, she is perfect for you. Amazing. That's just crap. It's just crap. And so I encourage you today to think about a situation in your life like this that is just crap. What is it? Who are you trying to impress? Why are you trying to impress them? What is going on for you that is giving you that energy of not enoughness? That's the root of all of this, right? Is the not enoughness. I am not quite enough. And so I need to impress this person. I need to bring out all my best stuff. And maybe even for some of you, I need to bring out some made up stuff because I don't feel like I'm impressive enough as a human being. Let's deal with this today. We don't have to live like this anymore. It's ridiculous. I feel sometimes that I do these podcasts not only for all of you, but also for myself. So, as I've been listening to everyone for the last couple of weeks talk about this energy of impressing, I've been reflecting on myself as well. It's something I feel we should all get into the practice of doing. If you have a few different friends that are all telling you the same things, or a few different clients that are all telling you the same things, what they're also telling you is this is something you have to work on. So take a minute and consider and try to decipher why you feel like you need to impress anyone. What is happening on the inside? What's happening inside of you that feels like, I'd better impress this person? For most of us, it will be an abandonment wound or a rejection wound or a not enoughness wound. Okay. So we're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back and do some transformational healing on who do we have to impress. Hey, everybody, it's the holiday season. It can be so hard to fit your spiritual practice into all of the events this month. I completely understand. I have the same problem myself. It's so important that we keep up our spiritual practice this time of year because it's what will get us through, right? So I miss you all so much. Let's gather together on Saturday, December 21st at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. That's 4 p.m. Eastern and 1 p.m. Pacific. We will do an hour and a half channeled healing with the guides. So what this will look like is an online event where you enter the Zoom room and you start hearing from your ancestors, hearing from your spirit guides, all about what's taking place in the world, in your life, all of those kinds of things. And then the guides will do a full transformational healing session for everyone there. I really recommend that you come to this event because I haven't been doing so many events. As all of you know, I've been really, really busy, but I'm so excited to see all of you and I miss you all and I would love to see you there. If you have too much going on Saturday, December 21st, sign up for the event anyway. Everyone will receive an emailed link to be able to access the recording for about a week after we have it. You can download it as well, and then you can keep using it over and over again, which, as we know, neuroscientifically, our brains love repetition. So join us Saturday, December 21st at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. I just can't wait to see you there. We're going to include the link below. Talk to you very soon. And we're back. I'm so excited to be with you. I'm so excited to do this particular transformational healing process with you on this who do we have to impress thing, because I started doing it 4 or 5 days ago and I've found it to be incredibly effective. It's a little bit different than the usual transformational healing process. We're only doing a couple of different tones. For those of you who are new here, who have no idea what the hell I'm talking about, don't worry about it. We'll walk you through it step by step. It doesn't hurt. It's very pleasurable. You will feel fantastic afterwards. If you're deeply in that energy of I have to impress someone, I recommend that you do this healing practice that we're going to do together today. I recommend that you do it every day for the next 3 days and then see where you end up. That's part of the fun of this work too, is like to see how quickly it works. And then you get to be free of that thing. How wonderful. All for a no cost podcast. If you find that you're working on something deeper, you want some support, I have session times available on my website, and we'll keep that link below as well if you want a private session. Okay, so let's get into the transformational healing part of this episode. So just close your eyes and take some deep breaths wherever you are. If you're driving, wait until you're done driving, wait until you get where you're going or pull over. And just close your eyes and sink into your very favorite place in nature. So imagine that you are out on a boat somewhere. Imagine that you're on a beach. Imagine that you're in a forest. Imagine that you're in your own backyard. Wherever you want to imagine that you are. And take some deep breaths there. And take in a few different things that you can see around you. Take a few different things that you can smell. If there are any specific tastes that are connected to this place, feel as though you can taste those things. And just drop roots. Feel as though you're dropping roots out of your feet to connect into the center of the earth. And bring that feeling up through your legs, up through your entire body. And then softly and gently imagine your mind, body, and spirit floating up through the sky, through the clouds, through the different layers of the universe, all the way up through the stars and the planets. And as you reach this very favorite place in the universe for you, this place of iridescent and pearlescent light, imagine that your body just floats on a cloud or floats on a beam of light, and just take in all of the new surroundings in this beautiful place. If you have spirit guides that you know of, like ancestors or deities or whatever they may be, imagine your ancestors or your deities or any other guides gathered around you. And now imagine yourself in the place where you first saw yourself needing to impress someone. And for some of us, that happened in childhood. For some of us, it was yesterday. Whenever it was, you can use that example. Imagine yourself in that location and see the different things around you there. Hear any of the sounds that are around you there. And now we're going to create a new memory. So before you go too deeply into that old memory that led you to feel like you had to impress someone, let's move into creating a new memory. So imagine yourself in that same place, perhaps with that same person, but imagine yourself feeling like you are good enough just the way you are. Imagine yourself feeling like you're good enough without having to tell all your best stories, without having to make up stories, without having to do anything other than just be there being yourself. Even if your abandonment wounds come up, even if the fear of rejection comes up, just let it be. Feel around you. Feel the energy around you of support from your spirit guides. And now create a new memory. So, what this can look like is imagine yourself talking to that same person, or even just being in your own head about it. And imagine yourself, instead of feeling the energy of, I have to impress, Just saying, I'm good enough as I am. Imagine yourself talking to that person with the energy of I am enoughness. Just talking about regular things, perhaps focusing on what they're saying or what their body language is telling you instead of thinking about how to impress them next. Just imagine saying normal, average, everyday things to this person. And imagine seeing in their eyes and feeling in their energy that they really like you as a human being, just with you being yourself, not having to impress anyone. And then imagine ending that conversation, even if it's just a conversation with yourself in your head, ending that conversation, feeling that feeling of approval, that feeling of love, being loved, that feeling of being accepted as you leave that conversation. And now we'll do a little bit of toning. This work is based on Porges' polyvagal theory. And so we're just going to use our own voice in different vocal tones or humming to kind of cement this new memory into our neuronal structures in our brains. So I'm going to ask you to put your first finger together with your thumb on both hands. This helps us work with the different brain structures that need to be worked with to create this new memory. And just tone with me. If the toning goes out halfway through, that's very common with this particular recording platform. Just keep toning until you hear the next tone start. Mm. 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 And connect your ring finger to your thumb on both hands. Again, this is part of the creating of a new memory in your brain. Press your ring finger to your thumb on both hands and tone with us. Mm. 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 And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And relax your hands. And just softly and gently bring your mind, body, and spirit out of this beautiful place of iridescent light, back down through the different layers of the universe, back down through the stars, and back down into your very favorite place in nature. And just ground your feet into the earth here. If there's some sand, you can put some sand on top of your feet. If there's dirt, you can put some dirt on top of your feet. Just to get really grounded in here and feel that sense of calm and peace with the earth. Feel supported by your feet, by the earth underneath your feet. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And open your eyes when you're ready. As always, it has been my joy to spend time with you. For more of this, come to our winter solstice event on Saturday, December 21st, 2024 at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. I can't wait to see you there. You can find all of my links in the show notes. See you soon.
Thank you so much for listening to these important conversations about cosmic leadership and the changing needs of our times. If you enjoyed this conversation, please rate and review this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. You can also share it with a friend. Join our crew at Adelina East on Instagram or at Adelina East Healing on Facebook. With all the love from every dimension, Adelina.